YouTube. It's Nelly, your Jamaican scholar, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the 10 best things about being a Fulbrighter. Now, I was awarded a Fulbright Scholarship in 2010 for studies in the United States, and I remained on a Fulbright from 2010 to the fall of 2011 when I finished my master's degree in integrated marketing and management communication. I can definitely say that it was one of the best experiences of my life, and I wanted to just share some of the more awesome things about being a Fulbright scholar. Now, let's start with the first benefit. Now, the first benefit is something that I may have mentioned in previous videos before, and that is actually the scholarship itself. It is a full ride for pretty much most people. It's a full ride, a monthly stipend, and that stipend, it varies based upon the cost of living in the city that you live. Your basic health insurance is covered through the scholarship as well. Also, books, you get a stipend for books at the beginning of each academic year. Of course, I mentioned the travel to and from school. So let me just explain how that travel works. One, you are flown in, right, from your country to your university or another location that I'll mention in a little bit. And when your scholarship ends, you get a flight back home. So if you want to travel home in between, so for example, you're doing a master's for a year and a half or 2 years, you want to go home for Christmas, you want to go home during the summer break, that's going to be your expense. But at the end of your scholarship, when it's time to return home, Fulbright got you. Now to the second benefit. And the second benefit is that the process of applying to and getting into graduate school is so much easier. Now, this is something I may have mentioned in a previous video as well, because Fulbright actually helps with the application process. In many instances, for example, in my case, I didn't fill out an application for university. Fulbright did. Through IIE, they did all of that for me. They made all the arrangements. So yes, you probably would get asked for like a statement of purpose, personal statement, stuff like that. So the different pieces of the application, you will fill them out. But then in terms of brokering the deals with the specific universities, that Fulbright does for you, which is definitely amazing. Anybody who has applied to multiple schools has paid the different application fees and paid for transcripts to be sent here, there, and everywhere can understand how expensive applying to graduate school can be. So definitely, Fulbright taking care of that process is a big plus. The third benefit is the waivers of the J1 visa application fee and the CVIS fee. Now, those persons who are international students who are studying in the US will tell you that applying for visas and paying the CVIS fee can run you over $500. And this is something that is waived during the Fulbright process. So you go through the visa application process, yes, you go through a visa interview, all of that, but through your Fulbright commission, your embassy, your consulate, they arrange all of that and no fees. So that is an amazing plus. The fourth plus is something that not every Fulbrighter gets, but those who get it definitely love it, and it is the ability to participate in what is called a gateway orientation. Now, the gateway orientation is an all expenses paid experience just before your Fulbright experience in another state at another university separate from where you're going to study. So for example, in my year, I was going to Florida State. But for my gateway orientation, I went to University of Nebraska-Lincoln. So 1 week prior to the beginning of my experience in Florida, I was actually flown to Nebraska, where I spent a week in gateway orientation. And gateway orientation is about acclimating the Fulbrighter to life in the United States. So it is a holistic program that gets you acclimated to what a U.S. university campus is going to be like. They cover topics like banking, insurance, the cultural difference. There is even the night stay experience where we actually spent the night at the home of an American person. And those persons were upstanding people in the community, so lawyers and, community activists and so on. You went on several tours, and so it's a great experience to get people acclimated to the US. So as I said, it's not every single Fulbrighter that is going to have that experience, but I think the persons who have never been to the US before, and those are some of the persons that are probably selected to or offered the Gateway experience. So I had a wonderful time at Gateway. Again, Fulbright was my first time in the US, and I really, really enjoyed it. So the fifth benefit is less hassle when traveling with a J1 visa. Now, for most persons, traveling in and out of the US, or really to the US, can be a little bit challenging, especially when going through the immigration and customs process. But as a J1 visa holder, who you travel with a J1 visa with a DS 2019 form, which clearly states that you are a Fulbrighter, and so most persons who understand what Fulbright is about will probably be more interested in finding out what you're studying and what your experience has been like on your campus. And so the negative experiences that some people have at port of entry is somewhat mitigated by that Fulbright stamp, and that is definitely a plus. The sixth benefit is the level of advisement that you get. So through IIE or your Fulbright administering body, you are normally assigned an advisor, and that advisor is going to help you through the entire time that you are on a Fulbright, and they take care of things like your making sure that your welcome packet is at your university, and that will include a settling in allowance. It also includes your book your book stipend, your first stipend check. So all those little things, those are part of the package that your advisor makes sure is waiting for you at your university when you arrive to the United States. They also take care of making sure that reminding you to submit all your paperwork. They take care of all your travel authorizations, because when you are leaving, you have to advise them if you're going to take a trip and so on. If you get an opportunity to do other activities on campus that require approval, that's the person. If you need advice on the best way to go about things, making sure that you stay in good standing with Fulbright, right, but get to have all the experiences that come along with being in the United States and being an international student, that person is definitely going to be there to help you. So that's the J1 advice that's provided by the Fulbright administering body. And then on your campus, there's going to be an international students office. And at my university, we were lucky because there was a specific J1 advisor who by and large dealt with the Fulbrighters. And so we had a special person, shout out to Miss Shad at FSU, who was very, very versed on pretty much everything that you could encounter as an international student. And so I kind of felt special. We kind of felt special because we didn't have to deal with going through the system and trying to make an appointment with the tons of advisors that were available. We had our own special advisor who would reach out to us when things needed to be done, who we could meet with, who also looked out for opportunities for us as Fulbrighters to participate in things on campus, and I will mention that as the next point. Seventh benefit is special treatment on campus. So I mentioned the J1 advisor, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about fun experiences that the university or through the international students office they put together for their Fulbrighters. So for example, we had an opportunity to have a special meet and greet with the president of the university. We were invited, my first football game, we were invited to the president's skybox, and so we watched our first game from the president's skybox. There were other opportunities to, for example, do presentations in various schools as a part of the cultural exchanges, and that was something that I definitely enjoyed because there is a certain level of prestige that comes along with a Fulbright scholarship, and depending on your university, how organized their international student office is, you might find that they have tons of fun stuff just for Fulbrighters. Now, another benefit of being a Fulbrighter is that there are Fulbright associations in many cities, and that is going to be Fulbright alum so these might be Americans who had gone on Fulbrights outside of the US and are now back in their city or their state, and this is a way to keep connected. And if you're lucky, for example, where I was, there was the North Florida Fulbright Association, and they were able to connect all the Fulbrighters at the North Florida universities with Fulbright alum from the US, and they also had an entire program put in place, special experiences, special excursions for Fulbrighters. With the North Florida Fulbright Association, we were able to meet Fulbrighters who went to, for example, the University of Florida, which is another university in North Florida, and they are great resources, definitely. And also it definitely benefits because there definitely is a benefit because you get to know the other Fulbrighters on your campus, in your state, or in that metro area, where regardless of university that you study at. Now, another benefit of the Fulbright Scholarship is the Enrichment Seminar. Now, Gateway Orientation and Enrichment Seminar were two activities that I participated in with IIE as a Fulbrighter. So these weren't things that my university did or participated in. This was definitely just Fulbright. And the Enrichment Seminar is another great experience. People go to Enrichment Seminar in the summer. Some have Enrichment Seminar in the spring. So, for example, I had an Enrichment Seminar in the springtime. So I think it was March. We were flown, all expenses paid again, trip to Philadelphia. We met up with, again, other Fulbrighters from all across the world who were studying at different universities in the US. And I was lucky that I got a chance to see some of my Fulbright friends who I saw at Gateway earlier in the year. I was also lucky that I was able to see another Fulbrighter from my country that I had not seen since like pre-departure orientation, because I was studying in Tallahassee and he was studying in Akron. And so we definitely had a good time, and it wasn't just social. It was, if I remember correctly, the theme for our gateway or our enrichment seminar was greening the planet, global challenges, local solutions. And so it was like a huge think tank with all these Fulbrighters from Harvard and MIT and SSU and every university, and we were literally coming up with solutions to this whole issue of greening the planet, making sure that we can find local solutions to greening the planet. We also got a chance to participate in some local level stuff that were happening in Philly. So we went out and planted trees. We had a really good time. So it was not just a fun trip, it was a trip where there was a meeting of the minds, and I definitely love that we were able to do that. And so the cool experience of the enrichment seminar was something else that I would say is a huge benefit of being a Fulbrighter. The 10th and final benefit is just being a part of a community of some of the best and brightest minds in the world. And this does not end when your Fulbright ends. Back in your home country, you might find that there is a Fulbright Association. So in Jamaica, we do have a US Exchanges Alumni Association, and they have a ton of events and different initiatives that we are able to participate in. And you're able to meet Fulbrighters who went on Fulbrights in the 80s and who are well established, probably in leadership positions in your country, and who went on different programs, and I really, really enjoyed that. There is also the Alumni Engagement Fund that is there for all of these U.S. Department of State programs, and the Engagement Fund is really a way that you can actually apply for grant funding to implement certain projects in your home country. And normally these projects are amazingly beneficial to the people in whatever communities, and so you are able to join with other Fulbrighters in your country or join with Fulbrighters in another country to submit a grant proposal to actually try to win a AEF. So I can't say enough how great of an experience being a Fulbrighter is, and those were some of my top 10 reasons why I think people should try to apply for a Fulbright scholarship. No, it wouldn't be okay to end this video without explaining to you what the goal of Fulbright is. And Fulbright's goal is to actually build mutual understanding between the United States and other countries in the world. So the objective is for persons to get the Fulbright scholarship, to go to the US to study, to learn more about the American culture, and to teach Americans about the cultures of the countries that we are coming from. And it is hoped that by doing that, we establish relationships and linkages and connections that actually are able to benefit these countries that we are from. And we can see where that definitely can happen, because again, you are Fulbrighter today, a prime minister or a president of a country or a senator or somebody implementing policy tomorrow, and your experience on Fulbright is going to shape your perception of the United States, and persons in the United States experience with you will shape their perception not just of you but of people from your country. And so it is definitely an amazing and excellent program. As I said before, currently in Jamaica, applications are open until the 3rd of July. I strongly encourage everyone and anyone who is interested in studying something that is beneficial to their country and is interested in going back to their home countries and making a change to apply for a Fulbright today. Now, if you like this content and would love to see more, I would strongly encourage that you, one, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jamaican Scholar, and of course click on the bell so that you get notifications for when I upload a new video. I will be uploading content about education every week, and so you want to just know when those videos are coming out. That's it for today, and I hope to catch you guys on the next one.